feels good. Yeah, it feels good. Make sure my mic apparatus is right. You heard? Yeah.
What's going on, guys? I am your host here on Grizzlytalk. Thank you guys for tuning into another episode. We got super special guest here coming all the way from Watsonville. He is having shows here in Fresno next month. Already has one sold out. So hopefully the next one's not sold out by the time you guys see this. But if it is, man, you're going to have to catch it on the next one.
Hey,
but how we doing? Danny V in the building.
Man, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me, honestly.
Yeah.
559 already been showing me love, and I've only been here for like an hour.
Yeah.
You know?
For real, bro.
Yeah.
So you came into town, got I'm guessing a free haircut, bro?
Yeah,
Somebody came all the
haircut.
way?
Yeah, so he came all the way from Wood Lake, which is like pretty much near Visalia, and he had DM'd me. You know, like I was announcing that I was going to have a show, and usually when I announce a show, I'll promote it on like TikTok and Instagram, but I'll like double down on the hashtags. That's kind of like my strategy is, all right, what city am I performing in? What's the area code? What are the surrounding cities? What demographic am I catering to? So I was like, on the hashtag, I was like doing Visalia, Fresno, 559. I was like, oldies. Just trying to really, you know, find that niche of audience. And sure enough, you know, I posted this video and it almost seemed like it reached all of like Fresno community somehow. Like everyone in the comment section was from Fresno. And we're talking thousands at this point. So to me, I mean, it made sense why it sold out at that point. It was just like people were drawn to the song I was promoting. I was just simply put like this reel, the song that I like just recently put out called One Last Chance. And actually he shot the video. And it was just so funny because we didn't really think much of it. I mean, we thought it looked, you know, aesthetically pleasing, but I posted it and it went viral prior to like the Fresno show. Then I just simply used the same video and was just like, okay, I'm going to be performing at Fresno at this place, the Howling Wolf, you know, come through. And then it just kind of
Went off. I saw that it sold out super quick. And then I saw people in your comment section like, add another day, add another day. And you're like, oh, I'll see what's up. And then boom, next thing I know, you're like, all right, we got a second day.
I did not sleep on that. Like I was just like, as soon as I saw like that opportunity present itself, that people were genuinely interested in seeing me perform live, I was like, all right, I just put the word out there. People were already, like I said, somehow the video reached like the community. So that's how I got the connection with the barber. I'm assuming maybe with you, or maybe you had seen it before. This promoter reached out. Like just so many people from Fresno just reached out. And me personally, like I was telling the barber, is when I go to a city, I like to just get to know the locals, you know, the community, and, you know, see who's really like from the town. And I feel like you never really know who knows this person and that person, and just really building like a good solid network.
Yeah. Because that's one thing that we wanted to do here with this podcast. Is like whenever anybody comes into town, like we want them to, you know, take a stop here and everything. So no, dude,
definitely.
Yeah, thank you so much for tapping in. I know I reached out too, but that's dope, man. So Howling Wolf, have you got a chance to check out the spot yet?
Like literally, once this is done, we're on to that. That's like the next thing. So I got the Howling Wolf through a friend. So it's crazy. Like I feel everything that happens in terms of like for what I experience, any kind of success or any opportunity, it's just because I put it out there in existence. Like in a sense, I manifested it.
Yeah.
It all really started with, hey, I'm looking for venues, because I was trying to do a show in Fresno, Sacramento, Phoenix, and San Diego, or like down there in the Los Angeles area, because that's really what I've been seeing in the comment section prior to like, or just prior to the virality of everything. People were already asking me to go to these cities. So I was like, man, I need to reach out, you know, see who knows who. I have all these followers. I mean, one of those persons is bound to know another person that owns a venue.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what I did. I was like, hey, I'm looking for a venue in Fresno. This guy reached out, a friend of a friend. I don't even know him personally. Shout out to Born Evil. He messaged me and he was like, oh, I know a guy, FaZe, who knows this guy. You know, so this is like, I know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, that's how it always works.
And pretty much that's how it got set up. But had I not, you know, put it out there in the universe or to the people, to my followers, then it just would have never gotten done. And that's kind of like similar thing, just to many things that I've experienced recently is like, you are not gonna get something if you don't like ask for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like what's like the saying is like closed mouths don't get fed.
Exactly.
So it's just like same thing. We put this band together recently, and I didn't know anyone that played instruments.
Yeah, you're gonna be bringing a whole
live
band.
band. Yeah.
That's sick, bro.
So recently we're like kind of like it's like a test pilot in a sense, and prior to that I was really just doing shows, you know, with DJ. You know, he's usually always doing like the sounds and everything. Shout out to Irv, and I recently met Manny, and Manny is more, you know, musically inclined. He knows how to compose music and everything. And he's just like, bro, putting a band together, it's going to elevate you as an artist and just going to elevate the whole experience of live shows.
The experience, yeah.
You know? So he really pushed me to, you know, try to put a band together. So all I did, and this was like, hasn't even been a year yet, I think, since I put this video up. You can literally find all these videos on my Instagram, like, hey, Instagram, I'm looking for, you know, musicians in the 831 where I'm from who can play bass, guitar, drums, piano. Literally, like, that's literally the script. And sure enough, had someone reach out to me. Oh, I play bass. Oh, I play drums. Oh, I play the trumpet. I was like, cool. I was like, can you guys meet up this day? We met up and just
That's
clicked.
sick. Yeah, I think that's super dope. I saw also, I went through your Instagram and you did like a Tiny Desk submission video type of thing. I was like, that's sick, bro. I'm like, I could picture you doing that, but with like a live band.
No, yeah, I think right now is where I feel like this live band chemistry is like perfect. You know, it's real genuine people who, you know, they love making music and they're really about it. And the fact that we had chemistry and connected was perfect. So that's really something that we're actually aiming to do moving forward. Whenever we have the time, because you know it's like 5 pieces and we're all grown, you know.
Yeah.
It's you know how it is, like having a podcast as well, and everyone has their own schedules. Sometimes they can be here, sometimes they can't, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that's the hurdle we're kind of trying to jump over right now. But generally, it's like if I can get them out in a month or 2 months in advance, you know, it's solid. Especially like weekends, we can definitely make it happen, and that's usually the days that I'm booking shows. So right now we're trying to get a studio live recording of some of the records because really, you're not going to get that same experience when you hear these songs. You can hear them like the studio version, but when you hear it live, it's like, it's just a whole new...
It's a whole different experience.
It's a whole new song. It's like not even the same. And it just... I think lately, you know, people have been coming to the shows and they get to experience something new, you know. There's been people who have been to my shows like years back, you know, when it was at a smaller scale. And I'm glad that I can provide, you know, a new experience for them.
How long you been doing music?
Well, as an artist, musician, I've probably been doing it like 4 years now.
Wow.
But prior to that, I was a producer. You know, I made beats and stuff. That's really how I got my start. And I think I started producing really, I mean, I started trying out stuff like when I was in high school. Then when I got to college, I definitely started taking it more seriously. Just I was producing beats on FL, just watching, you know, music tutorials on like YouTube and everything, and slowly but surely, you know, kind of just stuck to it, kept on doing it. I was going to school at the time, trying to just balance both of those things. And you know, really just a short brief story of kind of how it goes is like I went to college, I went to community out in Aptos called Cabrillo. Shortly after that, I went to San Jose State, got my degree in engineering, but while I was pursuing those things, you know, I was producing the beats. After that, you know, COVID hit, kind of gave everyone a lot of time to, you know, try to pursue something that they weren't doing. I mean, I hear this story a lot, you know, like, oh, I didn't start doing this until after COVID. Like, I mean, obviously...
Or because of COVID.
Yes, I think COVID definitely had its pros and its cons. And I think the cons are, like, pretty obvious. And the pros is, like, you had time, you know, and it really made people question their profession and what they're pursuing. Because some people either got laid off or some people were remote now. So it's just like you cut out the traffic, the food, the small talk, and you have all this time to really try to hone in on something.
Yeah. Well, everybody was at home trying to figure something out. A lot of content creators came out during that time. But then I think a lot of people had time to consume content.
Right.
As well.
That's definitely a big thing. And I think it had its pros and its cons, you know. I feel like mass media consumption, you know, it could be overwhelming and too much sometimes. And I think it becomes an addiction.
Definitely.
I'm very like,
yeah.
I try to be aware of that, and I try to create a balance for myself, just because, like I was telling you before, it's easy to get lost in that, and it's easy to, you know, waste 4 hours just like
Oh, easy,
scrolling,
easy.
and you're just like, whoa.
Or staying up at night and you're just
Yeah.
doom.
So I definitely try to just create balance, you know, just try to turn off my phone at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
For me, ideally, I try to turn it off by like 10 p.m. and then I don't turn it on until like midday.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, I'll allocate like 2 hours or something like that to just looking at the DMs, replying to who I can, and replying to certain comments. And then it's like, okay.
You got to interact with your fan base and everything like that. And it helps with the algorithm as well.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, like I said, I would have not gotten opportunities like this had I not taken the time to, you know, see who's reaching out.
Yeah, yeah. Who are some of your influences? Like, because I have seen you before you even announced you were. I'd seen you on either on Instagram or TikTok, probably doom scrolling or something. You know?
Yeah.
But because I saw it was like a TikTok or something, and it was like it talked about your style. Like it was like you know, it was like hip hop meets oldies or something style. Or I don't know if you put that out or
I must have. Honestly, I'm creating like pieces of content every day.
Yeah.
But there's content recording right now as we speak.
But so who are some of your influences? Because your music, it is different, bro. Like
yeah, so it's very it's just widespread, you know, of influences. Because as I was saying earlier, with, you know, the people I was talking to prior to this, was it's just been an evolving thing for me. You know, it really, at its core, I always say this, it's always R&B and hip hop at its core. But as of lately, definitely, I don't know why, or I don't know where it came from, but I just decided to just make some oldies records.
Yeah.
And then I met him, and him being from Puerto Rico, I started making reggaeton records. But actually, it's a fun fact, and I always say this, before I was making songs in English, I was writing in Spanish.
Really?
I was making reggaeton songs. But
okay.
since I'm low-key, pocho low-key, I've been improving my Spanish now, but before the records weren't necessarily there. And so I started really like honing in on that and practicing. But to answer your question about influences, I mean, for me early on, it really just started off at, I always talk about this project. It was this project with Linkin Park and Jay-Z. They did this like, it was like a crash something.
Yeah, I know what your song you're talking. I can't think about the name. It's like,
it was an unplugged MTV thing. And at the time, you know, it was middle school, like Linkin Park and like Papa Roach and all that stuff. I don't know if you remember.
yeah, MTV playing their songs like while you're getting ready for the school or something.
Yeah, in the morning. And that was really a genre I feel like was more popular when I was in middle school around that time. And so that was really what I was listening to. And they did the collab with Jay-Z, and I really got into the Jay-Z. So it was like, at that point, I was more, you know, influenced by hip hop. And then when I was in high school, it was like the mixtape era. So I was listening to like all the West Coast artists, really, you know, Nipsey Hussle, Dom Kennedy, Kendrick. It was a lot of Wiz Khalifa, Currency, Mac Miller. Really that genre. I would say that was like the mixtape era, you know? And obviously over time I got to see them grow into like these full-fledged, you know, stars. And so at this point I kind of got into more towards the end. My influences were like Chance the Rapper, Childish Gambino. And then I got to, you know, college, and all in all, it's always like, you know, you're always going to hear Drake. You're always going to hear Kendrick, J. Cole. Those are definitely like influences. But if we were to like take it back to, let's say, oldies, you know, I'd be saying like Teddy Pendergrass or like Marvin Gaye or the Spinners, Al Green, just all those oldies, you know, the Persuaders. I grew up, my mom used to always have this, she had this CD, and it had like the greatest hits of like oldies, and she had that thing like repeat, literally. I knew all the songs in order, I knew all the lyrics. And I think now that I think about it, I feel like that was really what genuinely got me into music. And I think where the oldies, you know, influence came from was from that, the greatest hits of like oldies. I honestly have probably listened to that CD over 100 times.
Man, to know the track list.
Yeah. I can literally
and the lyrics.
Yeah, I can literally just think of the songs right now in my head.
Well, because one thing I noticed about your music is like you're able to switch your flows. Like you got like 3 or 4 different flows. Like in that last song you dropped, what was it called?
So technically the last song I dropped was Reggaeton Otra Vez, but the one like I've been pushing more as a single is One Last Chance.
One Last Chance, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you sing in there, you got some rapping, you got some like you mix the flows up in there, yeah.
It's definitely an interesting thing, and I think it's cool. And I think people were kind of getting mad at the fact that I was saying I'm reviving oldies, but it was really just a way to like reel people in. But
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Reviving the oldies. That's what I saw. Yeah.
And so it's like some people are mad about it, but grand majority, everyone's like, I love it. Like it seems like it's your own take on a modern oldies, you know, and I think that's really what it is. You know, it's my own take of, you know, what I created. And it's definitely not like I'm bringing back oldies, because there's definitely other people out here genuine and making like authentically sounding oldies. But, you know, it was just, why not try something in my own style? And it worked, and it clicked with people.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's getting people hooked, and I think that's why you're selling out shows. So I want to take it back a little bit, because you said you've been doing at least the music part of it, like your own stuff for 4 years.
Yeah.
You grew pretty fast, because I saw your Spotify rap, and like it showed like you had posted, and it showed like I think like year 1 it was like something like that. Then it went to like 40 or 60, and then I was gonna ask you in 23 it was at 144. So I'm like, what's it looking at like now?
Now, I mean, who knows? Honestly, it's definitely up there, you know, until I get to the end of the year. But it's like, man, we're barely in what? We're in July or June.
June, yeah.
So it's like
halfway through.
We're barely halfway through, and with all these shows, it's definitely gotten me a lot more exposure and put me onto people that I've never met. So it's gonna be a growing thing for sure. I mean, predictions wise this year, you know, it's really hard to tell. But it's definitely, you know, you're not wrong. It's in comparison. Not that I really like to compare a lot, because everyone has their own journey, of course. But it has been, and I'm thankful for it, it's been a pretty consistent and fast growth. I know a lot of people tell me, I mean, some people don't even see that success until 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
And so, and I like to think I've been in it for just about that long. If we really count like the time I was producing and stuff, maybe if I count the producing, I'll say like 8 years.
Okay.
But if we really talk about like writing, recording, it's probably been like a good 4. And I've been, you know, thankful enough to meet people that, you know, genuine people that believe in what I'm doing and try to help me forward in the right direction. No one's really trying to steer me the wrong way. No one's like, nah, don't do this or don't do that. Like, they'll let me do what I do. And then it's just like, if they have anything to like input, then they'll be like, okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what does it feel like? Like, because I saw you posted on your story as well. You put like, I used to like practically beg people to come to my shows.
Yeah,
you know?
I did, honestly. Like,
so what do those moments feel like after a show and maybe it didn't do so well, and
man,
you're like,
it's a humbling experience for sure. Like, it will definitely make you want to grind harder, and it'll make you question your process and how you do it. I mean, he knows, like, he was there when I would literally cold call people. Like, I was like, yo, what are you doing this day? Like, oh, come on, like,
that's wild.
I'll be honest, like, I was damn near going on dates with girls just to get them to come. Like, I never said that, but I would literally go on dates with girls, like, be like, oh, come to my show. I would go out with them and shit. And like, it's crazy. Like, I would be doing like dumb stuff like that. Like,
it worked.
I mean, it worked short term. It was never a long term thing. And that's what I realized. I think it was barely like last year. I told my homie Herb, I was like, I'm not going to ask people to come to my shows anymore. Like, it's like whoever comes is going to come. I'm not asking my homies. I'm not asking my family. If you want to come to my show and support, come. But like, I don't care anymore. Like, if you come to my show, I appreciate it, but I'm not going to beg anyone to come and support me. You have to want to willing, because if I'm always asking people to come to my shows, I'm never going to get a true gauge of who genuinely is there because they like my music. And that's one thing you have to like ask yourself is like, is the crowd here for me or because I asked them to do it? And this is a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's vibing, I'm sure, when they come on their own, and having a good time.
It's different energy. Everyone's there to have a good time.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited to see you.
Yeah.
You know?
So from being like that to now like having sold out shows, like how does it feel? Like you got your well, I don't know if you've had previous sold out shows, but I know you have one in this month on the 21st.
Yes, it's gonna be on the 20th. It's
Or
gonna
the
be 20th. That one's sold out. The one in Watsonville was like pretty good, you know, in my hometown. Nothing like Fresno, I'll tell you that. Fresno's showing me more love than my hometown is right now. So,
Man.
I mean, my hometown showing me love, and that's no disrespect to like 831 in Watsonville, but it's a conversation I was having with the owners, and I always tell people is like, your hometown is not going to be the first place to show you love.
That's what all artists say. They say your hometown doesn't start showing you mad love until you're popping in hella other places.
Exactly. And I always knew that. And so I was like, and I'm always going to still show love to Watsonville and like still rep it hard. Even if I think they rep me though, like they rock with me like online, but like you said, it's like people aren't really going to show up and show face until it's like everyone rocks with me, you know? So it's up until that point, and that's okay. Like that's one thing that I'll always say is like, I'll never move in this industry acting like people owe me something. Nobody owes me nothing. There's no reason why just because I put it out doesn't mean that they have to go listen to it. You have to earn the respect. You have to earn the loyalty. And I think that's that's one thing that people forget that make music is like, they don't owe you nothing. Like just because you make music, it doesn't mean that they have to go stream the song.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is.
Man. And so how are you celebrating like these moments? You got like
Man.
sold out show, bro. Now you had to make a second date. You're like, damn. And I saw you post, you're like, all the Eventbrites just boom, 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 just going
popping off. It's crazy. How am I celebrating? I'm not really celebrating yet. I'll tell you that. It's because it's still a long journey to, you know, go. But I think at the end of the day, like I always appreciate the moments, and we'll probably celebrate like, you know, like, hey. But I was just sending them, they're like, man, how does it feel selling out a show? And then I sent him the GIF, the Kobe Bryant. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah,
he's like, job's not done.
Yeah.
He's like, job finished? Job not finished.
Yeah.
So that's my mentality right now, because it's easy to get caught up in the moment and be like, oh yeah, I'm popping now. And it's just like, oh, but I haven't been in the studio for X amount of days. And it's just like, you're not even making records to maintain what you're building. So I'm focused right now. And I know that this is like, it's like when you have your moment and your opportunity, you can't let go. You got to take it, and you got to like hold the wheel until like the wheels fall off, basically. Because it's like, it's gone, it's there, and then it's gone in like a flash of a second. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But
definitely celebrate the small wins, you know?
Yeah. 100%. Definitely going to celebrate the small win. And I'll just, you know, continue to remain grateful, continue to remain humble, and show my gratitude to the people that helped me get there, you know? Definitely.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, bro. I'm glad people showing you love out here, and you're liking the city, bro. I'm like,
man, I haven't even been to downtown Fresno yet. That's gonna be the next stop right here. So,
how long are you in town for? Just a day trip, or
just a day trip?
Just a day trip.
Yeah,
okay.
We're probably gonna head back to Watsonville after this, but I'm definitely probably gonna be here for like the weekend on that. Well, since I have the 2 days, I gotta be here for a couple of days. So,
where's the second one gonna be at?
It's gonna be at Frank's Place. It's this venue in downtown Fresno. From what the promoter was telling me, it's like literally a couple like down the street from the Howling Wolf.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All that area gets active at night, bro.
Does it?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I was hearing, is like the nightlife is pretty nice out here, you know. So.
Fresno gets ratchet, bro. So
hey, I'm with it, man.
Be ready for that energy, bro.
I'm
for
ready
sure.
for everyone. I want people to turn up. I want people to have a good time, you know. That's what life's about, you know. It's short. You have to obviously make the time to achieve what you want, but like you're saying, you have to celebrate the wins. You got to celebrate the small moments. For me, it's really just sharing the moments with my friends, sharing the moments with like my girl, with like my family. And I think those moments really just sitting down and like even just eating for me, you know, being able to be like, oh yeah, I got dinner, you know?
Yeah.
And just sit down and appreciate good company. That's really what it's about for me, is good company. Because, you know.
You strong in your faith?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I just recently got my confirmation done.
Oh, dope, bro.
Yeah. Just got it done. I'm Catholic, and right now I feel like I like to maintain my like morals and principles. Cause I feel like if you don't have any principles, then it's easy to like fall pressure to anything or just fall victim to your own vices, whatever they may be, or fall victim to, you know, just dark thoughts, demons and shit.
Yeah.
You know,
And like you were saying, like have strong faith and you know keep what is it, like manifesting things into existence.
100%. Because this is like it's a dark world out there, and there's demons out there, damn near, like in a like figurative sense, metaphorically, of course, people that don't have your best interests. So I think you got to stay on your toes and make sure you keep honest people around you, because you know, especially in the industry, you never really know people's intentions. I mean, just recently, man, dealing with some weird people. So
yeah, there's definitely a lot of weird people in the industry, but you start meeting people, and I feel like you get a better judge on people as well. Like as you kind of go growing, and you notice who are the genuine ones, and I mean, because it's pretty scary to just do handshake deals nowadays. You know, you got to have everything wrapped up. But I was also looking at your record today. What's it called? Still Thinking About You?
Oh, Still Think About You.
Still Thinking About You. Bro, how did you record the music video?
Oh, the music video?
Were you actually at Santa Cruz? Because I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I was at the boardwalk. It was funny because, well, for one, the song wasn't even done. It was just like kind of just a demo at that point. But we were supposed to go shoot a music video for another homie of mine, Iron Chef Weeze, from the Underdogs, this collective that I'm a part of. But they did these shots, and he kind of didn't really like them. And then my homie R Soul, who's like the founder of the group, who shoots all of our content from time to time, was just like, "You got any songs?" And we were just in downtown. I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And that was actually the first song that was viral. You know,
it had a good amount of views on YouTube.
It had, initially, I think like on TikTok, it had gotten like 203 over. All in all, it was like 500,000. I remember it was like 500,000 on TikTok. And I was like, I remember for the longest time, I was like, damn, I don't know if I could top this one. But it was cool. It's been cool to like see the changing sound, because now that I hear it, it's a cool song, but it's just like, man, it's very simple. Like, I remember, because I made the beat. It was just like a sample. It was like a kick and this like snare kind of thing. And now to be able to work with, you know, Manny here, it's cool because, like I said, he's more musically inclined. So we'll be experimenting on, you know, trying to do more layers in vocals or trying out some different things in production. It's not just a loop anymore, and it's just not just a drum and a snare and a hi-hat, you know? And I think that's one thing with music too, is with AI and stuff, I think you have to keep music like real and genuine and keep it as human as possible.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, you can't even tell these days what's real and what's fake.
It's
gonna get better.
Yeah. It is already better. Like I saw some videos. There's this taco shop here. It's called Don Tacha, but they have like on their Instagram, they have a video that went viral. It's with Peso Pluma, and he's saying like, oh yeah, like my favorite spot to eat is Don Tacha, and then like
yeah, they do like the deep fakes, huh?
Yeah, and it's like him saying that. And then I remember I was with some guys we were eating there. I was showing them Instagram because we've done some videos with them, and it was like he was looking at it. He's like, "What? They had like Peso Plumas been here?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Bro, that's AI." But hey, like some people actually, you know, like I don't know if they're not conscious of it or anything.
People who aren't like, especially the older. No disrespect to like the older gen, but it's just like they're not as tech savvy, so they don't know what's possible. You know, they see it, but like, oh shit, like. When did this happen? You know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary, but it is what it is. It's our society is just like evolving and stuff, and you know, I'm sure it'll have its pros and its cons, just like anything. But you know, I think we have to obviously try to use it in our own advantage, but we also have to learn from it and learn. I think it might either take us full away from our like humane personalities, or it might make us, at least the older gen, try to latch onto, traditional stuff.
Yeah.
As opposed to artificial.
Because it definitely helps. Like I use ChatGPT a lot and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
What's kind of your like creative process? Like how do you go about? Because you still produce as well, or
Yeah, I produce still, but not as I used to, because I think right now I'm definitely trying to focus on writing better songs, vocally trying to push myself, and if I'm spending more time on that, I'd rather get better at that. I mean, it's great to do both, and it's great to know both. But if I have people that can help me with that, then even better. And I think that's really what I'm trying to delegate right now, is figuring out what is most beneficial for my use of time, because it's like if I'm over here trying to do all these things, I'm never really going to get good at one thing.
Exactly.
So that's definitely where it's at right now.
Definitely mastering the craft. And so I know you're you like to do manifestations and stuff like that. I saw one of your posts. One of your goals was like to hit 100K on streaming platforms. Like, what are some of your goals now?
My goal right now, so I have written out right now, I want to try to reach 50K on Instagram. We're almost there. It's like 2K away. I want to hit 20K monthly listeners on Spotify. I'm at like 13. It fluctuates, but I think it's not so much about the followers right now, because it's dope that I feel like I have a genuine fan base and a core. And I think that if I can maintain that, I feel like it's very well possible to build a sustainable, career, having like a genuine fan base of people who, are going to rock with you regardless. And I think that's really what I'm building. And that's what I have been building since I've started, because I'm like, I really pay attention to who's, always showing love, trying to do things like a Patreon now, really trying to get connected with people that are, hey, I'll pay you $3 monthly, or I'll pay you $25 monthly to just watch, exclusive content, whether it be like behind the scenes or studio sessions, or I'll pay to, get that demo, or I'll pay for a feature.
You're going to launch the OnlyFans or what?
Man. I'd probably be a millionaire right now if I did that. Yeah. But stuff like that, it's genuinely builds a solid connection with the people that rock with you.
Yeah, definitely. People love seeing that behind the scenes and all that stuff. I don't know if you like, because we also do vlogs and stuff like that as well. But I think that's a good way to like have people like connect with you, because I feel like if you could get your fan base to a point where they feel like they like know you, or like when they watch your videos, they're hanging out with you. We're always like chilling with the boys. We're always talking shit and like all that sort of stuff, And then, because like some of the YouTubers I watch, it's like, if you see them, it's like, the inside jokes, or that sort of stuff, right? And people 100%. Start rocking with you.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and that's another thing with the shows is like, kind of once I make my rounds, I can kind of see like, okay, this city rocks with me. This one kind of so. As I, make my way to whether it's like Sacramento, Modesto, San Diego, Los Angeles, Phoenix, I can kind of get to know, who's really been supporting for the long run. And it's exciting. And I can kind of like take that, do an analysis on it. Because I feel like I like to look at it from a very technical standpoint. As much as I do this as like creativity, I think it's important to analyze what you're doing. And I think since we're independent, I don't necessarily have a machine running behind me to like tell me what moves to make or put me on the right platform. So I'm very, proud of that, to be able to say that I've been able to build what I have so far, organically. Yeah,
it's all grassroots, right? Because I saw you've never paid for like promo and stuff like that. It's just all been word of mouth and
literally word of mouth, and just staying consistent with posting content. I think it's the consistency and the content has made me build a following just organically, and I think that's the way to do it. Obviously, at a certain point, if you're trying to reach, once you plateau and you're trying to reach another level, I think paying is like an inevitable thing, obviously, along the journey.
You're going to get there.
Yeah, but I've always believed that if you build, a solid foundation for your career, you're never really gonna fall off, or you're never really gonna not have the opportunities to finance what you need.
It's almost like you said before, you telling people to go to your shows versus I'm not going to do that anymore and just show up. Like, that's how you know, like, what's real and what isn't, know? And it's like when you pay and you get a bunch of views, it's like what's real and what's,
exactly.
Or is it actually working?
That's what I always tell people is like, yeah, it's going to look sick. You're going to have like hundreds of views, but it's just like, how many of them genuinely rock with you, or how many of them just saw it because it was a paid ad and you saw it on their feed, like,
and then you just skip.
Skip. It's just like a view doesn't necessarily equate to an actual follower, And that was just one thing. A recent advice this manager recently told me is like, the streams, the followers don't matter. It's like, it's about how many tickets you can sell. That's what he told me once. Mm-hmm. Like this was like advice I got like recently a couple months ago, and that like got me thinking. I'm like, damn, I was like, that's true. Honestly, like you have someone that's got 1 million or 500,000 followers, and it's just like, well, why can't you or 100,000 followers? Better yet, I was like, well, why can't you sell at a show, or why can't you do this? And it's just like it kind of breaks down and shows you who's getting the real numbers and who's not. And that's no shade to anybody either, because it's like you got to do what you got to do, because it's like. It's also an image, Yeah. And if that's a part of the image and being, successful, then so be it. And I'll never like knock anyone's, process. I'm just speaking the truth of what my process was and how it's been put together.
Your truth. That is another thing I wanted to talk to you about. You touched on the consistency. I saw you did like a 45-day challenge.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? That's crazy, bro, because it's hard to even to just come up with the ideas to do something every day. So
yeah, that's dope that you know about that, honestly. Man, I appreciate you doing the research too.
Yeah, of course, bro. Of course.
Yeah, so the 45-day challenge was really just one of those experiments for me. I always, like I said, I look at everything from an analytical standpoint. I'm like, I feel like I've in a sense plateaued. At that moment, I felt I had plateaued. And I was like, what could I do to like switch it up? Do something different, do something new, fresh, something that's going to challenge me and maybe push me to the right direction in the next level. And sure enough, it was towards the end of the year. And I was like, man, I'm going to try this. I'm going to challenge myself to post 45 days. So the way I did it was Monday through Friday. I only counted those 5 days. So I gave myself the weekend to like catch up on stuff or just like chill. And so for the last 45 days, that's Monday through Friday, the end of the year, I think it was 2024. I did that. And no, was it 2024? I think it was actually 2020. It was 2023. And it was tough because it was like during that Thanksgiving, Christmas, that era. And I'll never forget, like, I literally left, like, Thanksgiving dinner. I wasn't there for, like, Christmas because I was over here trying to create content,
Yeah.
And it was definitely, like, sacrifices at that time, and I was really pushing myself. I remember at that time I was waking up at, like, 5 a.m. every day, and I would go do my workout. I'd go on some runs with this guy, and then I'd be like, okay, in my head as I'm running, like, we were running, like, 8 miles, like, half a marathon. I'd have all this time in my head. I mean, it's only like an hour or two of your day. I'd have this time to like think about, damn, what am I going to shoot today? And that was always like a constant, thought in my head during that era. And so at the time, majority of the time, there was 2 people that were helping me. It was my homie Frankie and my homie Josue. He's from Hollister. And it was kind of like how I was telling you about the band and about the Fresno thing is like, I put it out there in the universe. I was like, hey, I'm gonna do this 45-day challenge, but if I'm gonna do it, I need videographers. I need helping hand to make this possible.
Because it's not just shooting the content, all the editing that goes into it. And I hate editing, bro.
It was crazy, and sure enough, that's really like where my connection with Frankie started. And he was a Watsonville local, and we had gone to high school together. And he's been shooting all my like recent music videos, the ones that just like look super crazy. And Josue was just another helping hand that also helped me shoot content. And over time, it was dope to see him get really good at it too with like creating content. So I was like happy to make it a community thing where I'm just not only being the only one necessarily benefiting from it, because I feel like I would kind of explain to them like, okay, I'm trying to pursue this. And then over time, they kind of knew how like nitpicky I was about how I wanted to do things. But I'm thankful for like them, sparing their time to help me try to build something, because I think that they saw that I was genuinely just trying to build something and do something. And it was crazy because at the time, there was a few content pieces that went crazy. Mm-hmm. You know, off the tops, one of the ones that went cool at first was this running one, this running video I did at this local.
He remembers, yeah.
That was the first one that like set it off, and that was the one that sparked the conversation. And I remember like my friend who's from San Jose was like, "Yo, my barber was talking about like this running this," because I did like a Nike commercial. Because like I said, at the time I was running a lot, so I was just being transparent and doing things.
Was that you? Did you? Oh no, never mind. No, I'm thinking of a different thing.
Yeah. So at the time it only got like 500, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll get to this, like 500 likes, but it got like a good, like maybe 20,000 views initially, right? But I'll get to what this turned into later. Then I did this boxing one where I went to the gym. It wasn't always necessarily about music. Mm-hmm. And early on, like Frankie was able to be there and Sway was, but like as the days kept going, I mean, obviously like they're busy. And so I had to like shoot my own content. I had to edit it. I had to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously they were still there for like certain visuals, but like there was still somewhere I had to do my own thing. And initially, like I said, the first ones went crazy because obviously Frankie was already like a shooter and he knew what he was doing. But me, I wasn't really like, didn't really know how to like color grade that gray. I didn't know how to like edit like clean. So as the days went on, initially like it was a bunch of likes. But obviously over time, it's like I'm posting consistently and like people kind of get over it. We were getting on average, you know, early on it was like 500 likes. It varied. It'd go up and down. But towards the end it was like averaging maybe like 200 likes or something like that, which is like, it's good, you know, pretty standard. And I thought like initially, I think I had started like, I was like 5,000 followers at that time, right? And I was like, man, this is going to like blow up. This is going to go crazy. And I think at the end of it, I think I'd only gotten like a couple of followers. I don't even know.
At the end of the 45 days?
Yeah, it was only like I think I'd only like jumped up to like, nah, it was like, I jumped up to 100 only, like 100 only followers. I was
within those 45 days?
Yeah, which is like nothing compared to what it's jumping at like on the daily for me now. And I was like, damn, but it was a great experience. And this is what I was going to get to now is what I didn't realize during that moment is the 45-day challenge really prepared me to move at the rate that I do now. It wasn't so much in the moment. I didn't realize, like, I was like, man, I want this to be like now. I didn't look at it, the benefits that it had for me long term. Because it was like now going into 2024, I had 45 days worth of content. And now I can share it through TikTok, through YouTube. So now it's like I could recycle. I'm still recycling content from the 45-day challenge to this day.
Wow.
And like I said, so like, for example, the Nike running commercial, like it only got like 20,000 views. And not to downplay that because that is a good amount.
Yeah, that's good numbers.
But like now, I remember, and then I recently posted it like literally this year, and it got like 500,000. So it's just like, and like I said, it taught me how to shoot my content. It taught me, you know, how to move at a fast pace and be like chill, even because it's easy to get burnt out.
That was going to be another one of my questions.
And that was what I remember going into 2024. I had taken the time that first January to like, you know, catch a breath and settle and create a plan for 2024. Excuse me. And then once I had pretty much figured all that out, we were like, okay. I kind of looked at everything and I was like, man, I built a foundation for myself. I built a foundation on how to create content. I learned how to hashtag if you think that's, you know, useful, or I learned how to caption on videos because it's like it's a science to it in a way. And once you learn, not that I'm really chasing virality, but obviously that's going to help you. You learn how to like reel people in and things that a lot of people don't know, because everyone thinks that like, oh, if I shoot this 4K video and it looks sick, like people are going to gravitate to it. No, that's one thing that I learned too from that. Remember,
you need the hook.
You need something captivating, truly worth people's time. So it's like, because in my head, I'm like, damn, I'm shooting this sick content, but like, why is it not going crazy? But as I did, I was like, oh, I realize now, because I wasn't necessarily, there was no audience for it. I wasn't trying to reach to anyone. I was just posting a video, you know, and that's a misconception that people get lost in, is like, just because it looks good, it doesn't mean that it's going to pop off. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to find the audience for it. And that's something that I learned, is just building like a niche for what you're trying to do. Whether it's like I said, whether I was doing a boxing video or I was doing a running video, or just a little a music video reel where I'm just like rapping my song.
Yeah.
So it was such a foundational thing, and I really think that was very pivotal. Obviously, at the moment, I didn't see it, but now looking back at it, when I look back at it at the end of 2024, I was like, man, if it wasn't for this, I would have never met him, and it's just like these people that I met during that era are like still people that I have on the team.
Yeah.
Who still help me build.
That running video, bro, it wasn't like you running and then like it's like I run because I have to, and then it's like the police are chasing you or something.
No.
Okay, because I saw one like that recently.
I think
and I was
I've
like,
seen that
was
one.
that you? I
No,
was
no,
like, was
no.
that? I'm all over here thinking.
I think I saw that one. That one's pretty sick, but
Yeah.
that one was more like a Nike. It was like a reflection kind of thing. I don't know if you want to see it, but it was just kind of like you can kind of see it there. Okay. It was just me comparing, what running does for me metaphorically. Like it's more of a mental challenge than it is for me like a physical thing, because you're trying to push yourself to run.
You got a drone too, or
yeah,
is it a drone shot?
Yeah, my friend shot that, and at the time I remember I was reading a lot of I don't know if you're familiar with David Goggins.
Yeah.
And I was like just super into David Goggins. I read both of his books, and he had got me into running. And I remember it felt like at that time, like I said, I felt like I plateaued, and I was like didn't know where to go from there.
Yeah.
So I remember I cut my hair there short, and I was just like trying to figure it out, and that pretty much helped me figure it out.
Yeah. So are you like doing this full time during this time? So okay, that I feel like that takes a lot, because like right now I still like work 9 to 5 and stuff like that. So it's like, how do you deal with the burnout? It's like
burnout, man. You don't. You just keep going. You just keep moving. You just gotta keep. That's what I'm saying though, is like it built foundation for me to stay level headed amongst the chaos. But don't get me wrong, like I exercise a lot to maintain a level head, and I remember early on I was doing a lot of like hot yoga.
I've always wanted to try that, bro.
You should do it. It's good. What hot yoga helped me with personally was control your breathing, because you're in a hot room and you got to focus more on your breathing as opposed to how your body feels, because your body is gonna want to like escape the room, but that's
like it's in a sauna, right? Or
it's like it's in a sauna, but you're basically doing a workout. And I actually recently went to a class because I was like, man, I just felt kind of like stressed, and I didn't know how to like control my like thoughts and everything. And I just felt like everything was racing like 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I need to get back into this and find my inner peace, especially with all these shows coming up. I need to find my peace. So you need to obviously take these days, certain days of the week to recollect yourself. And that's something that I kind of got away from just because of how quick everything started blowing up this year. Is
you got to move with that momentum.
Yeah, you have to move that with that momentum. But I was like, man, I can't lose this piece that I was building during that day, because it's like that was holding me down. And like I said, it's just like I was reading a lot of like self-help books at the time, and I was reading this book called I want to say it was like 23-6 or something like that. And what it is, it's a book about a tech Shabbat. So a Shabbat is like a Jewish like celebration or a practice, better yet, where you kind of like don't do anything for a day, like 24 hours, or I don't know how long it is. And you're like not on the internet. You're not
you
like
just completely
you just
don't do
disconnect.
Anything. Yeah.
And what this one was more of a tech Shabbat. And so what it is like what it sounds like. You off the internet, you're off the grid for 24 hours. You're spending time with people that you want to without using technology, TV, video games, radio. I mean, I remember the author goes into depth about talking about how they went as far as like using vinyl records to like spin music. When they wanted to listen to music, they were like, no phones. Like, we're gonna use vinyl. Or the radio, and it gives you time to think about what you want to do. And honestly, I've to be honest with you, I've kind of fallen off that practice because I've gotten this feeling like I need to do something. There's always something
that has to be
like,
done
in the back of my head. I'm like, gosh, that needs to get done.
Yeah.
Like, and if it doesn't get done, I'm gonna forget.
Yeah.
So I think with everything that I'm doing, I need to get back into that practice, and maybe even hot yoga again. Get back into that practice of, finding my inner peace amongst, in a sense, the chaos. There's not really chaos. It's just amongst the.
But it's a lot going on. You got to think about, and you got to keep that clear head for the creativity to have some space to come in and everything like that.
Yeah, 100%.
I bet at the end of the 45 days, like, because one thing I told, like, one thing that we've been doing as well is, like, we've been doing collaborations with, like, local businesses and stuff like that. And, like, man, sometimes it's like, you think, like, to make a 15, 30-second video, we're going to knock it out in, like, 10 minutes or something, right? But it's like, no, it takes sometimes, like, 2, 3, 4 hours. And we're, like, as we're learning, as, at the beginning of the process. But I would always tell my videographer, Luis, I would be like, I'm like, bro, like, it takes a long time right now, but I bet you, I'm like, give it a year or two, and we're going to start just knocking this out. Knocking it out. And it's like recently, like, we did some videos for this cannabis club. It's called Culture. And one day we knocked out 4 videos. And before it would take us like hours just to do one.
Yeah, you need a good computer too to edit all the footage, honestly. But yeah, it's like anything, it's a learning curve. You gotta.
Did you get better? Like, were you knocking out stuff faster, like, at the end of the 45 days?
Most definitely. I mean, I think at that point, the only thing was slowing me down, like I said, was my computer.
Yeah.
I was like...
I just got a new computer myself, bro, because I would try to edit everything, and it would just be so choppy, bro. And it's like, I can't do this. Yeah, or it looks so shitty, and I'm like, like, I already don't like doing this, and this is making life so much more harder.
Even just recently, like, my computer was, like, lagging to record. We just invested in like a new computer ourselves. I think Daniel, we got the same computer.
Oh, dope. Yeah, this was it's a M4 Pro.
Yeah, we got the same one.
Yeah, dude, amazing, bro. It works amazing. Yeah, quick, no lag. Or the other day I had like over like 50 gigs worth of data that we were editing and didn't lag, didn't nothing, bro.
You need to get yourself an external.
Yeah.
An external hard drive. I don't want to put.
Well, yeah, I have a SSD, so I was actually working out of there. I wasn't throwing it all in there, but I mean, it has a terabyte worth of gigs, so that helps a lot. So, outside of the music, bro, like, what are some of your, like, what do you like to do?
I mean, like I was saying, I like to go do, yoga, gym. I'll be hanging out with my girl. Honestly, we'll just like hang out. I feel like that's a good way for me to just disconnect. It's just like go hang out, and I'm not thinking about. I don't even look at my phone, honestly, when we hang out. So I'll just be doing that. And that's pretty much, that's like my free time. I would say is working out and just hanging out with friends. But outside of that, I don't really have like any major, like, I would say hobbies. You know? I mean I would used to play like basketball and stuff like that, but I don't go play basketball no more. I don't really go out to play sports like that. I mean, I'm not trying to get injured either,
Yeah.
But
how old are you?
I'm 27.
27. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm 28. So
we're down here the same age.
Yeah. Now you start thinking like, bro, I don't want to get hurt, and that shit hurt. Like, little things, bro. Little things.
Just even playing. I've seen a lot of people like injure themselves just playing basketball. Literally.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you just do a jump, one bad jump, or
you land wrong.
People be playing like flag football. Or stuff like that, and it's just like they're getting injured, and it's just like, damn, you're out now for like a couple of days or like longer than that.
In this old age, bro, no way.
Yeah, bro. So I'm just like, nah, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah, the only thing I do like, bro, and I'm like, I pray I don't get hurt, but I love snowboarding, but it's only a seasonal thing. So
man, yeah, I recently went snowboarding out in Tahoe. And it's dope, man. It's fun. I got injured though too, like, cause I was a newbie, and I think I'd gone onto like the diamond.
Oh shit!
Cause I was picking it up fast, bro. Like, faster than I think like most people would.
You ever skateboard or any of that stuff? Or?
Nah, but I feel like I'm pretty like athletic, and I know how to like keep my balance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you know how to like balance yourself, and obviously you're gonna eat shit like when you start, but I picked it up pretty fast, and then I remember I was out there and I was snowboarding, and I was going fast, bro. And I think I got caught in a skier's like ski. So imagine, because the skiers are going like this. Yeah. Right? And so his ski thing was like this, and my snowboard like tucked under his shit. And I just like flew. Yeah. But that wasn't even the injury. I just like flew, and then like I was going down, and that kind of like threw me off. That threw me off of like my confidence. Yeah. And then like I had like well, you know when you're like slowing yourself down, so and the snow like goes over the top of the thing, and so like
you're like on your heels, and then if your toes dip, you're gonna catch
like
it.
kick back, and then like, bro, I think I got a concussion down. I was wearing a helmet and shit, but
oh, thank God,
like my head was like fucking pounding after. I was like, bro, there's no way. Like I'm pretty sure I got a concussion, but I was like, I think I was just like, damn. I was like, yeah, I'll be all right.
I was clowning one time. We went, and I was like clowning one of my boys because he had a helmet, but this dude was like hitting jumps, and I don't know, he was on X game mode, bro. But he hits a jump, bro, and I'm right behind him, and I see like he like scorpions, bro, and the back of like his board hit the back of his head.
What? He scorpion that bad?
Yeah, bro. Like I just hear the like boom, like it was like a smack, bro.
Was
like
he good?
Yeah, he was cool.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, but yeah, bro, I'll probably wear one next time too.
Yeah, nah, you need to wear a helmet. Like, I mean, unless you're hella good, bro. Sean White type, but yeah, bro.
On different timing.
It's no joke. Like snowboarding, you can get injured easily, depending on like how the snow is. But yeah.
So I know you talked about your girl as well, bro. Like how important do you think it is like having like the right partner?
Man, that's super important, honestly. I feel like it's crazy because I mean, if you're single, like it's cool. It's cool like to be single also because you can just move freely and stuff. But man, I mean, cause I was single, you know, I was single when I was still making music and doing shows and stuff. And
Did you meet her like trying to get her to go to one of your shows or on one of those dates?
Yeah, she had came to a show, and it was cool. You know, we went to high school together, so like we got along already. But I like back to your question though, it's important, you know, because I feel like you're just gonna be realistically like you're gonna be smashing a bunch of girls. You're single, you're doing shows. That's just the nature of it. You know,
part of the lifestyle.
You're gonna attract girls performing and stuff. But I don't know. Me personally, I found that I'm just like I'm more focused. I'm not out here trying to chase anybody. I'm just chasing what I'm trying to do music wise. And honestly, that's just me. I mean, some people might feel like they can focus more without any, you know, relationship, but I feel like everyone got their own experiences at the end of the day. And it's also just like willpower, know how to control your desires. Because, man, I also just feel like, I don't know, unrelated topic. I just feel like you have too many like sexual partners, you kind of come desensitized. That's my personal thought. I mean, I
no,
could
100%,
be, I could be wrong. Everyone has their own, you know, beliefs and thoughts. But I'm just like, damn, like, imagine you just smash a bunch of girls, right? You kind of just like, damn, you kind of like it's cool. Like you'll always be like, especially if it's a new girl, you're gonna always get that hype. But after that, it kind of dies down. Like you just like once you did it, you're just like, like I smashed. It was like now I can move on to the next, you know. And it's just like it's like a repetitive cycle, and you kind of like gets desensitized of like what is truly genuine, and I feel like it also just can create like issues in the sense of like trust, because you see how slimy people move, like whether girl or guy, they be doing crazy stuff even when they're in a relationship or something like that. And it's just like, damn, like, or you just see stuff and you just and it makes you think a certain way. Like, well, I was like, damn, if this person doing that, what's stopping them from doing this? It's just it could build trust issues, I think. And so
it's a vice for sure, you know, and it's one of those things you can get lost in for sure.
Just like I think it's just like it's anything like alcohol, like any other addiction, it's a drug in itself, I feel, you know. So but if you have willpower, control, then more power to you. At the end of the day, you know, you can control your desires and you can control that, then go ahead. Yeah. Like I'll never like knock someone for doing what they want to do when they're single.
Yeah, exactly.
Or when they're in a relationship. I mean, you know, do what you want to do, man. To each their own.
To each their own.
Yeah, to each their own.
Yeah. Because I think it's important, like having the right partner as far as like how you move as well, and like also how much trust they put into you, you know. Because I feel like depending on how the dynamic is, like it can make or break you.
Facts, honestly. And on top of that, I mean, it's cool inspiration, you know, for like writing songs. You just kind of get new experiences and you can talk about different things and stuff. So it's definitely like made me look at things differently over time, you know? But it's just, I think that just comes with like maturity.
If they break your heart or something, bro, you know, then, that's gonna make some good music.
Oh, you'll know.
We were just listening to we were watching the Post Malone he had at Coachella.
Yeah.
He did that song I Fall Apart.
Oh, that's
and
a good song.
I was showing my nephew, he had never heard it before. And then he's like, man, like he's really heartbroken because like you see the emotion like in the
every time he sings it, you can damn near feel the song.
Yeah. It's yeah. So what's next for you, bro?
What's next, man? Honestly, like I said, we're gonna be running up these shows. We got Fresno next, so we got Prunedale. It's a town next to Watsonville. It's in the 831 area, kind of near Salinas, if you ever heard. Then we got the 2 Fresno shows. So that's July. Then I got some shows out in like Pismo.
Oh, sick.
Pismo Beach. Fresno
loves Pismo, bro.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
because you guys have that bridge, like that highway connection, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we always like, if you go to Pismo, bro, there's hella people from Fresno.
Really?
There. Yeah.
So then we're gonna hit that. I'm planning probably some shows in Salinas. It's also a city near Watsonville.
I'm familiar with that whole area, Salinas, and then there's that national park right there. Is it Pinnacles? National Park?
So there's the Pinnacles, and then there's like what is that other one by Carmel? What was that? Yeah. Whichever. I can't even hear him, but yeah. Or it's Half Moon Bay. That's what I'm gonna say. Or no, that's Santa Cruz. My fault.
Yeah.
I got my geography.
But I know like there's like Greenfield out there and King City.
That's where he's from, Greenfield.
You're from Greenfield? Bro, I hear Greenfield's like fucking wild, no? Like there's some gang activity there. I don't know what's going on.
It's pretty mellow. That's where I be going sometimes.
For real?
Yeah. 'Cause that's where he's from. So I'll drive out there and he's got a dope studio out there. But yeah, really like the focus is shows. And man, if I can really lock in on just putting together a new project, I think that'd be great too. I think right now the challenge that I'm having, just fully transparent, is just figuring out the direction of the album, because the first album I put out was called East Lake Boy. And it was really, like I said, the genre that I've really focused on is R&B and hip hop. So I'm like trying to figure out, because I feel like also another thing about being a great artist and a successful one is knowing how to maneuver through the hype and like what you have in the moment. So every decision, like, I don't want to like box myself in either, but your decisions are very pivotal. And if you make the right ones and you play your cards right, then you don't know what opportunity that it's going to take you into next. So, but I think at the end of the day, it's just trusting my intuition and knowing which direction I want to take it to. But like I said, with the project is like, do I lean towards the oldies? Do I continue working on what I have with the R&B and hip hop? Because this is like, if we do that, I damn near have a whole body of like almost like a body of work for that. But if we're talking about the oldies, then it's like I have a few like concepts, because this is such a new thing for me.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I genuinely want to put a good project out, then it's going to take more time, because I'm going to have to develop it more. Because I literally released the first one in it really started popping off early June. And then I dropped this recent one like February. So it's just like, I haven't really had time to, study it more. That's and it's like, if I'm going to do it, then I want to do it right. And I want to try to put real elements of music. And if we're putting real elements, now we're going to hit the studio with real musicians, and that takes more time. We're not talking about loops anymore. Yeah. We're talking about, trial and error with different sounds and songwriting and vocal ranges. But it's like, and I'm afraid that if I put out like more of the R&B, I'm not afraid it'll do good with my audience, because for the people that already like me for that. But it's like, for the new audience, you'll be like, what the heck? They're like, this is what I like right now, And I think I'll kind of get to see, and that's another good thing about, these live shows is whether they become long-term fans or short-term fans or however, they're going to be able to get a better gauge on my entire music. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And really the goal for these shows was, I know some people were really coming for like this one record here or that record there. But it's just like, hopefully in the show, they can be like, whoa, I actually like this song too, and I like this song, or I like this, and then all of a sudden now they're more of a fan of the catalog and me as an artist, regardless of what I put out.
Yeah.
So that's another one of those goals, and I think it's best to like for me to just play it by ear right now, and not necessarily rush, but also know that this is like time is gonna tick, but I'm confident and pretty happy with the catalog and what I've provided to the people now to trust that. I mean, I'm not going to not put out anything for the rest of the year, but to trust that can continue to keep me afloat and keep going.
Yeah.
Because now it's like I have the audience, and to a lot of the audience, they're hearing these songs for the first time, I'm doing shows, and it's like people are like, I never heard that song, and I like it now, so.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of what a lot of people do. They go to a concert, and then maybe they only go for one song or something like that, right?
Yeah.
What's that song for you right now? Like,
oh, right now it's either between My Baby or One Last Chance.
Or One Last Chance.
One of those. I mean, at the last show, for everyone was singing like One Last Chance, like in the crowd. This crowd was singing it. So
what's that like, bro? You're like, damn, they know the words.
I feel like it's crazy because I haven't experienced that since I dropped my first single. There was a song called Toxic. I remember when I did my show, people were singing it just like that. And it was crazy, honestly, even just to think back, like my first show, everyone knew the lyrics already. So but I haven't had that experience since then until like now. We're talking like 3 years later.
Damn.
You know? So to have that experience again, finally later is cool to see. But I mean, that was just one show since I had dropped that song. So I'm excited to see if they know the songs out here, and when I did this show in LA, even there was like certain people that were singing every song. Yeah. And I was just like, oh shit. Like,
that's dope.
All of it. Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting thing to see, who knows what and who doesn't. And either way, I'll try to make the best of the opportunity.
Is that like the last like song you play out of
Yeah.
Everyone's always I noticed that like we've been going to more and more concerts. I'm like they always play like the song that everybody's waiting for at the end.
That's like I think that's how it was. I want to go see Kendrick in SF, and everyone was waiting for like Not Like Us. So it was like, and it's crazy because his catalog is like pretty
stacked.
But I think that's one thing that will also make you sell a good tour is like if you got one good record, man. I'm seeing that firsthand.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that I only have one good record, but a one good record that year.
Yeah. Well, it's hitting right now.
Yeah, it's gonna, man. If you could like, there's this one artist, Lil Tecca. He's like, if you got to put out like at least one hit a year.
Yeah.
Better than the last. If you can do that, I mean, there should be no problem.
Yeah.
One hit is like
all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
One hit at least 100%. Once a year, or at least once every 1 to 2 years, because if you make a hit, then it's like longevity.
Yeah. If it's like a classic, basically it'll play over time.
Exactly.
And any shout outs, bro, you want to give or
Yeah, shout out to Irv right here, man. Shout out to Irv Gotti. He been there for all the shows, small ones, the 10-person crowds. He been there for it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Manny right here. eCast Pro from Greenfield, man. He been just very helpful on every aspect of the music, not just production, but just the events, the band,
the videography,
the content. You see it right there. Shout out to Soul. Shout out to the Underdogs. Shout out to Frankie, Sway. Yeah. Shout out to the squad for real. Shout out to the dogs.
To the dogs.
Yeah, the dogs.
No, bro. Any last things you want to cover, bro?
Nah, bro. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, no.
Honestly.
Thank you so much for coming on, bro.
Shout out to 559 Fresno.
Man, he's gonna be out here, man. Yeah. Well, I'm glad the city's showing you some love, bro. Thank you so much for stopping by, bro.
Thank you, man.
It was a good talk, bro. It was
bro.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Love you guys. Peace.
Peace.